27 new scholarship players, 26 new portal guys, and you can see the difference right from the jump. And here we go. Play is underway at Nippert Stadium. Logan Wilson fielding the ball on the hop, out past the 20, and then past the 25-yard line to the 26. So a nice return by Wilson as we get our first look at that Cincinnati offense, ranked 14th in the nation, averaging 503 yards per game of total offense. That's third in the Big 12 as well. Brendan Sorsby, the redshirt sophomore quarterback from Denton, Texas, is leading the way. He's been one of the best in the country on third down. He's top 25 in the country in terms of passing yards and total offense as well. Sorsby keeping it on the ground and nothing going for Corey Kiner. A whole slew of Cougars there defensively to bring up second down and long. Keith Cooper, first man there. That's going to go in the books as a loss of 3. Look at the numbers on Sorsby. As I mentioned, he's been absolutely fantastic since transferring in from Indiana.
Yeah, he's brought confidence and a level of trust to this offense, rounding out their dominant run game.
Play action to Kiner. Sorsby throws over the middle. A wide open Joe Royer, but the ball is poked out by A.J. Halsey. Nice defensive play by the Bearcats.
They got their whole offensive line back this year, and that really bodes well for Cincinnati as they get into conference play here, although they don't have D'Artagnan Tinsley, the left guard, today. Joe Royer, one of the most exciting tight end pieces in the country, had a pretty easy catch there, knocked out by Halsey.
Yeah, and I think that was just a great play from Halsey. Royer, normally sure-handed, making that catch, coming into this one, leading the Big 12 tight ends in receiving yards and touchdowns.
Let's take a look here. They're going to see if he had possession before it was knocked out. Nice, easy, catchable throw from Sorsby. Maybe he put a little bit more on a line so it gets there earlier to Royer, but Royer kind of brings it in, not nonchalantly, but it looked like that because Halsey came in and knocked it out right away.
Yeah, it's not sure if he got that second foot down. There's 1, 2.
Yeah, you got to make a football move, and it looks like as he was tucking it under his arm, it came out. It looks like he was moving the ball the entire time. Oh, very close there, though. It's worth taking a look at.
Well, the ball goes out of bounds, so the reason they're looking at it is because if it was a catch, it would be close to a first down based on where he caught it. But you see he fumbles it backwards about 3 or 4 yards in front of the first down line. Let's bring in Dean Blandino. Dino, what do you see when you look at this play?
You guys are all over it. It's a time element. Does he get control and then have the ball long enough to form that comment to the game? He's starting to tuck the ball away. I don't see him have the ball long enough. To me, it's a bang-bang play. They ruled it incomplete on the field. I really want to see him start to turn. And again, remember, slow motion is always going to distort that time element. Is he able to perform that comment to the game? Does he tuck the ball? Does he turn upfield?
After further review, the ruling of an incomplete pass is confirmed.
There he goes. As per usual, Dean Blandino was all over it. It really was a bang-bang play. So 3rd and 13 coming up for the Cincinnati offense.
This is where they like to look for Henderson if they're going to go down the field, or something shorter in a screen game to Kiner or maybe Royer again.
Sorsby's been one of the best in the country on third down. Going to keep it on the ground with Kiner. And Kiner going to be about 3 yards shy of the first. Picks up 9, maybe 10 on that run. Carlos Allen making the tackle from his nose guard spot. So here comes Mason Fletcher, the leading punter in the Big 12, also 4th in the nation, averaging about 47.5 yards per punt. This guy's a monster piece, 6'7", 215 from Melbourne, Australia.
Thought he was a basketball player running out there. Look at the size of this punter.
Catch made inside the 20-yard line, and down goes Mekhi Muse after he picks up a couple. A 48-yard punt, almost right on the number for Mason Fletcher. And here is Donovan Smith, the senior quarterback from Las Vegas, Nevada, 3 years at Texas Tech. Year number 2 at Houston. Tore his labrum late last season, wasn't cleared until July 1st, and we mentioned kind of an up and down season through 3 games thus far. Gonna pitch it outside to Stacy Sneed. Sneed taken down right away by Eric Phillips. Taking a look at this Houston offensive line. 4 new starters on the O-line. David Ndukwe is one of those guys. He is replacing Patrick Paul, who was so good for so long. Rayshawn Sanford at running back, the guy who normally gets the start, and then Stephon Johnson, the wide receiver who's been making the most noise thus far. But here's Stacy Sneed again from the running back spot, picking up 2, maybe 3.
They like Sneed. They're going to play 4 running backs, but Sneed is their most explosive back. Sanford probably the second most explosive, but this is a very experienced Cincinnati front, where Cincinnati is new and experimenting is in the secondary. But as far as the linebackers and the defensive line goes, Cincinnati has a real strength there and an advantage against Houston. You saw in the first couple plays.
All right, going to be interesting to see what offensive coordinator Kevin Barbay draws up here on 3rd and 10. Normally scripts the first 8 plays of the game, as we have a flag down.
Timeout, Cincinnati. Their first of the half. 30 seconds in length.
All right, Cincinnati calling a early timeout, as we hear from David Alvarez, our referee, for the second time in this game. And you know, it's an interesting story for Kevin Barbay, the offensive coordinator, because he talks about scripting the first 8 plays. Obviously doesn't always go exactly in the order he had planned, but I wonder if 3rd and 10 he stays with the script here, has to go a little bit off script.
Yeah, you probably have to go off script once you get into the 3rd down, but it's kind of interesting. Both these teams kind of like a boxing match offensively, feeling each other out. The only real impactful play we had was the long throw from Sorsby to Royer that ended up incomplete. They had to look and see if it was a fumble.
4 wide for Smith. Over the middle, and he's picked off. Donovan Smith picked off by Josh Minkins, who missed last week, back in the starting lineup. Still not fully 100% healthy, but gets his first interception of the game. And let's not forget that it was last year Donovan Smith had trouble against this defense as well.
Yeah, threw 3 picks, and that was the difference in the game down in Houston. Smith able to get rid of that ball, a little bit of pressure, but stepping right in front is the free safety, Minkins, who you said, Dan, has been banged up, was a game-time decision. One of those guys that came over from Louisville with Scott Satterfield, making a big play early, and Cincinnati's been getting early picks from this secondary early this season. Derek Canteen with one last week in the rivalry game against Miami of Ohio.
So great field position for the Cincinnati offense at the 45-yard line.
I love those big hats.
I love those.
As long as somebody's not in front of you, you know, in a movie theater or something, it's great.
Movie theaters are games. You don't want to be sitting behind those guys.
Quick change for Houston's defense. We'll see how they handle it.
Sorsby to throw on 1st down. Little hitch. Completes it for the 1st down. And this is the guy who has been so dangerous with the ball in his hand. Jamoy Mays picks up 20 for the Bearcats.
Guy out of Chattanooga, and they say they trust him. And good job by Sorsby there, working progression, looking, stretching the defense, freezing the linebackers by checking out into the flat and then getting it over the middle to Mays. Good looking throw from Sorsby, and his first throw was looking pretty good too.
Mays had that 52-yard catch and run against Pittsburgh. You get him out in space, he is tough to bring down.
They have a roughing the passer penalty, which The mic was down on the ref, but Sorsby hit in the face here.
You got the hands to the face.
Yeah, Michael Batten there with the double rejection to the face. That one's going to go on the Cougs as well, I think.
Yeah, looks like offsides there on the defense, so just inside the 13-yard line. Here's another look at that Sorsby hit.
False start. Offense. Number 74, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It looked like he was drawn, but they call Philip Wilder. And that's the big 15 yards before the 5 with the punch to the face after the ball's out.
So the penalty moves him back to about the 17.5-yard line. Going to keep it on the ground. Here's Kiner. Kiner doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Nice job defensively by Michael Batten, who was called for the penalty, making amends. He's coming in as the leading tackler on this Houston defense.
Yeah, they love to blitz him, and you saw that on the previous play. Really, really impactful player. 19 tackles, transfer senior at a ULM, and very active as far as bringing pressure. Nice job they've done against Kiner so far in this game. He hasn't had much to do.
Kiner 2 carries for just 7 yards thus far. 2nd and 17 here. Sorsby to throw. Pressure coming off the right side. Goes up top, and he got him. What a catch by Xavier Henderson. A 19-yard touchdown, 2nd touchdown catch of the year for Henderson.
Well, you can see how much Sorsby liked the matchup. He had Henderson against the corner Carter. And again, just like the first ball he throws, trusting his receiver, throws a beautifully catchable ball, a little bit of hand fighting. And Henderson knows how to separate at the last second, make the catch, and get it in bounds. Well executed play by the Bearcats.
2nd year at Cincinnati after 3 years at Florida. Henderson with the 19-yard touchdown. And I'll tell you what, Sorsby has looked pretty good here early on. Great catch, maybe a better throw. And on for the extra point is the walk-on kicker Nathan Hawks, who had an absolutely monster week last week with a 55-yard field goal and a 50-yard field goal as well. So the Cincinnati defense makes a play early on. Josh Minkins with the interception. Offense takes over and finds the end zone. It's Sorsby to Henderson. Cincinnati on top, 7-0.
Homes.com is a new, elevated home shopping experience. Beautiful design, tremendously rich content, and my favorite touch,
It's the only site that always connects you to the listing agent.
feels like a work of art.
Lovely. What about the app?
Uh-oh! Look what I did. It's ringing. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They can't hear you.
Hello?
Because you glued a frame over the microphone.
I think I've glued the frame over the microphone.
Ding dong!
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Take a class in your attic. That dead spot is gone. Stream ballet in your man cave. Learn to paint on your lawn.
It's glorious. For a limited time, get a free upgrade to Home Internet Plus. Just $50 a month.
Man, I wish I was out there. Let's unretire. Why not?
Guess who's back? Hey, Grandpa! Grandpa? I still got it. Let's see.
Hey, I need that senior discount.
I'm good right here, bro.
Meet the Jennifers, each planning their future through the Chase mobile app. Hello, new apartment. One bank for now, for later, for life. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th. With exclusive savings just for Prime members, you'll feel like a big deal. Shop deals on electronics, fashion, and more this Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
Restaurant bread, stale policies, no cheddar. Cheddar Bay 2024 is here to clean up the crumbs. Come in now for a chance to win 4 years of free Red Lobster, because one bite can unite all parties, at least for dinner.
An early Donovan Smith interception by Josh Minkins turns into a Cincinnati touchdown after Sorsby finds Henderson in the end zone. So great start for the Bearcats early here at home.
Yeah, and for Houston, it's like that Steven Seagal movie, On Deadly Ground. You got to really be worried about Donovan Smith recovering, finding some offensive consistency, getting their running backs involved in the game, and getting some first downs. You can't have an interception fest like you had last year.
Hawks set to kick off. Massey deep for Houston. And Hawks booming it through the end zone. There will be no return here as we get our second look at this Houston offense. And Donovan Smith, who has had kind of a tough road to hoe in his last couple of meetings against Cincinnati, starts off with the early interception, trying to right the ship. That was his first pass of the game.
Yeah, they need the run game and they need the short passing game to flash on first and second down to keep him out of those third and long situations, which is what led to the pick.
Rayshawn Sanford, the second in at running back here, picks up 4. And it was a nice start for the Cincinnati defense. All 6 linebackers can play up front. Keep your eye on the Godfather, Dante Corleone. And these linebackers have been really good. Jaquan Sanks, a young player who has certainly stepped up. You saw Minkins with the interception already. He missed last week, but back making a difference at safety already. 2nd and 7. Smith pressured, eludes the first rusher, picks up 3 more. That's going to bring up 3rd and 3, maybe 4. Minkins shoving him out of bounds.
And this is where you want to be if you are Houston, in more of a 3rd and short situation, so you don't have to have Smith over-creating, especially early in this game when his confidence has been shaken. Good decision there. Tuck the ball, lean forward, and get what you can.
Houston converting 27% of the time on 3rd down. 3rd and manageable here. They call Smith's number, trying to stretch for the first down, and he gets it.
Interesting play call there. They go with an empty backfield, and they motion the tight end, Jaden York, around. Maybe give him a jet sweep. Instead, he tries to lead block, misses the block completely, but Smith is so big and sheds tacklers so well that he's able to get it, and now he's out of the game.
Zion Chris, the backup quarterback, the sophomore from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Played a couple of years at Louisiana. Dangerous with his feet, and here he goes, picking up a nice block. And picks up 8 yards, does number 2, Zion Chris, checking in the game for Donovan Smith.
And pushed the freshman running back, 185-pound Stanford, in front of him for a block, but a good job getting his feet wet and running the ball. They want him involved, like we talked about, a little bit beat up in camp, but a guy that can play, and they want the ball in his hands. With the transfer portal, no such thing as, red-shirting and waiting for a lot of these guys.
Parker Jenkins back in at running back. Smith pressured, kind of a low throw to Jenkins, and he is met right away by Derek Canteen. The first-year transfer from Virginia Tech has been excellent this year.
Yeah, they voted Canteen captain. He had a big pick to start out the Miami of Ohio game. Smith slips a little bit while he's trying to push up, but is able to get rid of that ball to Parker Jenkins, who's kind of their all-around solid back, but not solid enough to get away from Canteen.
3rd and 4 coming up.
They converted the last one, and every first down helps Houston calm that offense down and rest that defense.
It's Snead at running back. Smith looking his direction, passes a little bit behind him, but he picks up the first down.
Well, that was basically an outlet route run by Snead, but he could have been the primary receiver. Just turns and shows the numbers to Smith, and a little bit off, but he makes that play. And another conversion as Willie Fritz come over and congratulate Stacy Snead on a new set of downs. Easy guy to talk to and like Willie Fritz and root for.
Willie Fritz is outstanding. Keeping it on the ground here and nothing going for Parker Jenkins. Jordan Young from his cornerback spot had that big pass break up on 4th down last week against Miami, making the stop.
Well, they know that Houston and Kevin Barbay are being very careful with their play calling. So on 1st and 2nd down, they're really pressing against the run and trying to stifle these Houston running backs. Cornerbacks so close to the line of scrimmage. Jordan Young in the backfield making a play for a TFL.
2nd and 12 here for Houston. Smith looks to his right, tucks it and runs. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and then met by a wall of Bearcats. Marquez Parker, one of the men there.
And here's the 3rd and long situation that Houston's been trying to stay out of.
Houston 6 for 14 on 3rd down last week against Rice. 2 for 3 today. And the one place this Cincinnati defense has been susceptible is to big plays. It's been their Achilles heel. Houston's going to need one here to pick up the first. Smith loses his footing and the ball momentarily, hops back on it. That's going to bring up 4th down. Houston going to be forced to punt.
Well, he had the Godfather pressing him in the backfield, not to mention Eric Phillips. This is the 2nd time he slipped on this drive. Loses the ball, kind of tries to use the ball in his offhand to hold him up. He's got to come back for it. Almost another turnover and as many possessions for the Cougars.
Yeah, lucky that he hopped back on that ball. Tyron Smith back deep to return the Joseph Kim punt. And Smith calling for the fair catch at the 19-yard line. Cincinnati's defense answering the call. Houston looking for an answer on offense, down 7-0.
I have type 2 diabetes, but I manage it well. It's a little pill with a big story to tell. I take once daily Jardiance at each day's start. As time went on, it was easy to see I'm lowering my A1C.
Jardiance works 24/7 in your body to flush out some sugar. And for adults with type 2 diabetes and known heart disease, Jardiance can lower the risk of cardiovascular death too.
Serious side effects may include ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration that can lead to sudden worsening of kidney function, and genital yeast or urinary tract infections. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. You may have increased risk for lower limb loss. Call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of infection in your legs or feet. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Jardiance is really swell, the little pill with the big story to tell.
And that's why our favorite part of camp
was the ride to camp.
Can we please get a ride?
Sure.
Transform your cabin with the ingenious stowable second row center seat. Available on the Honda Pilot. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
So here's the thing about Bernie Moreno. Ohio already voted to protect abortion rights, and this guy would completely ignore us.
Bernie Moreno supports a national ban on abortion and said he's 100% against abortion with no exceptions.
I never imagined I would live in a world where my daughter has fewer rights than I do. And as a mom, I won't let anyone stand in her way. And I won't let Bernie Moreno go to the Senate.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
126, first on the scene.
Chlorine gas.
Dispatch, we have a problem.
911 Lone Star season premiere this Monday on Fox.
Tonight on Fox, it's Coach Prime in prime time as Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders lead Colorado against Baylor. It all kicks off tonight at 8 Eastern on Fox. Different looking Big 12 this year as opposed to last year. These are the standings from last season. Cincinnati finishing last in the Big 12 at 1-8. And certainly they can alter the direction of this season if they are able to hold on here and get their first Big 12 win of the year and their first conference win of the year.
If Sorsby's this sharp, I don't think they're going to have a similar problem.
Sorsby has been excellent thus far, and this young man has been awesome all year long. Corey Kiner picking up 9, coming in off back-to-back 100-yard games.
And this is what he does. Watch the line shift over to the right and watch him cut it back. He sells that front side with an extra step and then just starts breaking tackles. McLaren, who's a really good tackler, was first up and he ran right through that. That's what he does, creating great second down, third down situations.
Yeah, 2nd and 1. Coaches will take that every day and on Saturday. Unfortunately, he loses a yard on that carry, bringing up 3rd down. Anthony Holmes Jr. from his nose tackle spot coming in. I mentioned the back-to-back 100-yard games, 149 against Pittsburgh. They narrowly lost that game, an outstanding comeback for Pitt in that game, and then 126 against Miami last week in the rivalry game.
And they got away from him a little bit toward the end of that Pitt game, and some of the talk in the area was that was why they lost. He is necessary to this offense, and they got to feed him throughout the game because he gets better throughout the game.
Sorsby looking to throw, flushed out of the pocket to his left, and there comes the flag. You could see it. It was Gavin Grover, the tight end, but Hershey McLaurin who's going to be called for the penalty.
McLaurin's tackled really, really well and has really popped on tape, but there you see he's there early.
Number 15, automatic first down, spot the foul.
Both hands on Grover, the 6'6" tight end. Hard guy to knock over is Grover.
A lot of tall guys out here. You got a 6'7" punter, you got a 6'6" tight end, and let's not forget about Joe Royer. We said his name earlier, and we're going to be saying it again. There's no doubt about that. So 1st and 10. Fresh set of downs for Cincinnati. Operating out of the pistol. Sorsby to throw. Plenty of time over the middle and wide open, the aforementioned Joe Royer. It's almost like we knew it was happening, Pete.
You're a prophet. He was looking outside to Xavier Henderson, who was working beyond the hash. And Sorsby, so impressive, working progression in this game, even when he was flushed on the last play for the PI. Very, very calm and collected in his decision making. Comes off the primary, finds the tight end over the middle beautifully.
Pickup of 21 yards, the ball just inside the 45-yard line for the Bearcats. Keeping it on the ground here, plenty of room for Kiner. Corey Kiner breaking a tackle, and he's in for the 2nd Bearcat touchdown of the day. A 44-yard touchdown run for Corey Kiner.
They love it at the nip, and the reason is the offensive balance. You see Sorsby very, very calm, making plays down the field. That keeps Houston's defense off balance. Kiner, really good cutback runner, and sometimes you want to be slow to it and fast through it. That time he saw it right away and was fast. The second he got the ball, darted through that hole, scored.
I thought it was Willie Fritz who said that's how he wanted his running backs to operate. He saw exactly that case from Cincinnati here. Slow to the hole and then fast through the hole. Corey Kiner has been so good for so long for Cincinnati. Well on his way to his 3rd straight 100-yard game.
Yeah, come in.
Yo, let me get a tee, please, bro.
I got Nate. Come on.
Swap, swing, then you serve. Pull it in, serve the face.
Hey, can we try to step on 8? Lisa.
Yo, set, yo, done.
5-minute warning for Tyler.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good.
Man, sounds good.
Cool. Sounds good.
Auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
At Harry's, we designed our razors to start sharp and stay smooth, so your 8th shave is as smooth as your first. And at as little as $2 per blade, they cost half of what the other guys charge. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at harrys.com/smooth.
I just hurt my neck because I fell out of my chair because my boss just told me that our new starter pack just dropped. A solid stick of deodorant in the scent of your choice. A cream tube of deodorant in the scent of your choice. Plus 2 free items, plus free shipping.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Welcome back to Cincinnati. Bearcats on top 14-0. 5 explosive plays already for Cincinnati. The last one from Corey Kiner.
Watch this zone. It's everybody moving this way, right? And you're going to see Corey Kiner sell that front side and really move that front side as everybody goes, and you see both linebackers, Batten and Morris, take themselves out of the play, and here comes Kiner. Just wonderfully executed zone running, patient but also fast through the hole when he saw it. A lot of the time you can't cut it back that early, but if the linebackers are going to vacate that quickly, it opens up like a runway.
Kick called in right at the goal line. That's Brian Massey. And flags flying as Massey's taken down right around the 20-yard line. This offense from Cincinnati has been so impressive thus far. Houston just trying to get something to go. 13 yards of total offense as we're coming near the end of the first quarter here, and it looks like a face mask called on the kickoff return.
Personal foul, face mask, receiving team, number 54, half a distance to the goal, first down.
It's like that's on a Koye. Coming in on your left side.
Kind of a catch and release there. It wasn't very long, but he did grab it for a moment.
Yeah, like catching a tarpon. It's illegal to keep them.
You do a lot of tarpon fishing?
You know me, a real outdoorsman.
14-0 Cincinnati. Donovan Smith back in the game at quarterback.
And he has struggled. One fumble he got back, and the pick, and we've already seen Zion Chris, the backup, once.
He's 2 of 3 passing. That one incompletion for the interception, keeping it on the ground here with Stacy Snead. This is a guy who can score anytime he touches the ball. They do have a kind of a wide rotation of running backs with Sanford, Jenkins, and Snead. Even the true freshman Jamarian Burnett getting some burn as well early in the season.
Tough tackle there by the true freshman. Sanks came up and chopped Snead down, but a good looking run on first down too for Houston.
2nd and 1. Empty set for Smith. Quick pass out to the left side. That's Johnson, and he's not going anywhere. Kalen Carroll wrapping him up.
Well, you know, we talked about the inexperienced secondary of Cincinnati, but they are hitting early. Look at the freshman Sanks there on a very shifty player. Snead taking him down, and Carroll pressing the short passing game, not letting Stephon Johnson, who's very, very explosive, get going. Cincinnati been playing excellent defense throughout the afternoon.
It's Snead and a running back on 3rd and 5. Smith again going to call his own number, picks up the first down. Quarterback draw been one of the more effective plays for Houston so far.
That is his second designed run for a first down in the first quarter. He also had the pass to Snead, which was a first down. They're only rushing 3, and they double-team Corleone and bring Snead. So there's a lot of room there for Smith to run that ball, almost free access.
From the 22, operating out of the pistol once again. Play action here for Smith, taking a shot deep downfield. Has a man, and it's caught. Bobbled momentarily by Joseph Manjack, but he holds on to it. We mentioned big plays have been the Achilles heel of this Cincinnati defense. This one goes for 52.
Manjack, a guy who started his career at USC. They get the play action going with Snead. You talked about the big plays. He gets away from Carroll and had enough time to catch it twice with his no-glove, bare-arm style.
Manjack, old school. Coaches say if he didn't have to wear cleats, he would play barefoot. On the ground here, spinning out of a tackle and then another is Stacy Snead.
You know, I don't think he would play barefooted.
Why not?
You know, it's like saying we're going to play you in the parking lot. People say that, but it never happens. We've never once played in the parking lot.
We have seen kickers play barefooted.
That's the truth. Back in the day. That was another nice run by Snead, and this is the best Houston's been offensively.
Oh, big play will do that for you.
Catch it twice, but they needed to have the next punch.
2nd and 1 at the 16. Designed run for the quarterback, Donovan Smith. And once again, he picks up the first down. That's his 6th carry of the game. He's averaging less than 2 yards per carry, but when needed, he's picking up the first.
Well, he leans forward, and with that 6'5", 235-pound frame, he's getting a first down almost every time he runs. The Godfather, Dante Corleone, ran him down there, but Houston desperately needed this, and we'll see how they call plays in the red zone to try to convert.
Keeping it on the ground with Snead. Snead tripped up just as he crosses the line of scrimmage by Logan Wilson.
Good job trying to contain by the North Texas transfer, Logan Wilson. Snead, very, very dangerous out on the edge. And they have a lot of guys like that. Stephon Johnson. We haven't seen Mekhi Muse yet, but some very fast players. Sanford we've seen a little bit, but Snead is their most experienced, explosive playmaker.
2nd and 9. Smith looking over the middle. Lucky he wasn't picked off again. Kind of a low pass. It was Minkins there. He was looking for Stacy Snead. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Snead's their guy. This is what they call a Texas route. Snead's going to try to come across the middle after sort of faking that he was coming to the flat, and Minkins was bearing down on him. But if that ball is catchable and on the chest of Snead, he has a chance. Errant throw.
3rd and 9. Smith looking to throw again, this time to the right side. Making the play right away was Jared Bartlett. Snead unable to make the catch. Bartlett got there right as the ball was arriving. Snead didn't have a chance.
I understand the play call from Kevin Barbay. Instead of bringing him across the middle, you run him in the same direction and then keep him going outside. But nice read by Bartlett, who's there in a hurry, and ball wasn't very close either for Snead to have a chance.
So here comes Joseph Kim, the redshirt freshman from Lawton, Oklahoma, a 32-yard kick. And it's no good. Wide right for Joseph Kim, and still a 0 on the scoreboard for Houston after that big play from Joseph Manjack.
Sherrod Brown says,
I'll work with anyone to protect Ohio.
But what Sherrod Brown does in D.C. has not protected Ohio children or abused women. Brown supported allowing men in girls' locker rooms. Brown would allow puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for children. And Brown supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters to accept transgender biological men. Sherrod Brown. He's not protecting Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You don't need the same Duracell batteries that help power Williams Racing. Until you do. Duracell is a proud partner of Williams Racing.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. With Skyrizi, feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks. Many people were in remission at 12 weeks, 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Skyrizi. AbbVie could help you save.
There is nothing like a Wendy's Frosty. It's cool. It's creamy. It's only $1 right now. Wait, what? The one and only Frosty is $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Isn't it absolutely bonkers that you can walk into a store, hand someone a piece of plastic, and they will willingly hand over Reese's cups? Forget flying cars. This is it. We're at the pinnacle.
What an awesome venue. What an awesome atmosphere. Are you ready for Penn State football? Big time play. Touchdown, Penn State.
Big 12 looks a little different this year as the Pac-12 dissolved. They picked up Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State. Lost a couple of teams to the SEC as well. Cincinnati and Houston made their Big 12 debuts last year, so it's year number 2 for both programs, but it's really year number 1 for Willie Fritz as he's kind of still getting his footing in the conference and his first time with a Power 4 program.
Yeah, big buyout for Dana Holgorsen, and they foot the bill to bring in a very well-respected coach, Willie Fritz. And I remember when Utah and Colorado over a decade ago came to the Pac-12, and especially for Utah, it took a little while to get that talent level up.
Kiner getting a rest, and Evan Pryor, the Ohio State transfer, checking in at running back. Kendra Gant makes the stop from his middle linebacker spot.
Happy to have him back. And Pryor, 100-meter guy, like you said. Only had about 40 carries in his Ohio State career, but a really nice changeup for what Corey Kiner has to offer as we look at Joe Royer, the excellent tight end transfer as well.
Sorsby rolling to his right, easy completion and a pickup of 5. That's Barry Jackson Jr. making the catch. You can tell he's a little frustrated. Thought he could have picked up a few more yards, but ended up going out of bounds there.
That's his second reception on the year. They like his explosion, somebody that's still learning the offense.
Redshirt freshman from Cedar Grove High School in Georgia. We mentioned the change here for Cincinnati. 47 new scholarship players, 26 new players coming in via the portal. 3rd and 5. Sorsby over the middle, squeezes it in, and that's going to be a first down Cincinnati. Nice catch by Joe Royer, who picks up 9.
Right between the ones for Joe Royer. Watch Sorsby. He has been sharp as a tack in this one. Good coverage, but more of a catchable ball. Almost forced him to catch it as Carter was right on top of Royer. Sorsby, just a real peaceful, easy vibe in this game.
Keeping it on the ground here, trying to bust it to the outside is Pryor. And solid run for Pryor before A.J. Halsey makes the stop.
And it's not like they really want to take Corey Kiner out. They like to keep him in and feed him because he gets better as the game goes on. That 44-yard run for Kiner was the longest touchdown run of his career. He's had longer runs, but not for a touchdown. But they need Pryor to be a little bit of a change-up.
Yeah, Pryor and Royer, both Ohio State transfers, big pieces to this offense this year. Flags flying on 2nd down.
False start, offense, number 56, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's DeAndre Buford from his left guard spot. Moves around a good bit.
Yeah, started a lot last year. A lot of experience on this O-line as you see Kiner back there in that pistol formation. He can really get downhill from there.
2nd and 8. Sorsby 5 of 6 so far. Going to throw again here, rolling to his left. And you're right, Petros, he just makes it look easy. Finds Tyron Smith for the first down and a completion.
Yeah, he looked at the tight end underneath, looked like he was going to go there. Good coverage, and then gets it beyond him, and just great footwork. Play action on the zone right to Kiner, and then just flips that ball out there. Tyron Smith on the coverage, and he's just got that vibe where doesn't look like anything's bothering him out there.
Have the jet motion, keep it on the ground right up the middle. It's Corey Kiner back in the game and picking up a couple. As for Sorsby, 6 completions to 5 different receivers. And you mentioned it, just calm and peaceful. It just seems to come easy for the young man who transferred in from Indiana. Started 7 games for the Hoosiers last year. They had a coaching change. He entered the portal, and he was the #1 target for Scott Satterfield and his coaching staff.
Yeah, he really just seems to be very comfortable. The only incomplete he had was the one that was punched out to Royer in the first drive.
Here he is again, outside to Kiner. Kiner run out of bounds by Batten.
You know, these things kind of go by the wayside when you're watching a game, but that is a perfect throw, and that's not an easy throw. To throw it to a back when he's running one of those bubble routes, it's got to be 1 foot in front of the numbers so he can catch it and run. That ball was 1 foot in front of the numbers, perfectly timed, and he just flips it out there so nonchalantly.
Looking over to the sideline, potentially changing the play on 3rd and 3. Kiner moved from Sorsby's right to his left. Keeping it on the ground here with Kiner, puts his head down, trying to get an assist from his offensive line. It looks like Jonathan Harder was giving him a little push there.
Kiner, 5'9", 210-pound back, but he runs a lot heavier than guys that are 230, 235. I mean, he really knows how to get behind his pads and pump his legs, and he sheds tackles.
He did a nice job there with the assist from Philip Wilder, who's back at right tackle, up top, and unable to connect with Xavier Henderson.
Nice recovery by the line judge there.
Yeah, everybody was falling down, flags flying. It was Kristen Davis in coverage.
See what happened here.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 17, 10-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
Yeah, Davis, like you said, Dan, holding Xavier Henderson.
Yeah, kind of shoved him out of bounds. Here's another look.
Yeah, they're down here. And remember, beautiful touchdown earlier in the game. It's the same matchup. Just a little too handsy from Davis. Good drive by the Bearcats.
Bearcats have looked good on offense, keeping it on the ground here, and unable to turn the corner is Evan Pryor.
Really good tackle again by Hershey McLaurin. One of the old Dana Holgerson holdover players, transferred from West Virginia. Carlos Allen in the area as well. Disruptive nose guard, but these guys, you can see they're breathing, getting tired. This is a long drive that Cincinnati's putting together.
Yeah, almost 6 minutes. This is the 10th play, 2nd and 9 here for Sorsby. Fakes the handoff. And nice defensive play there to break it up was Tegan Wilk. It was Aaron Turner who was trying to make that catch, but we have another flag down.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 28.
Wow.
10-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
Same guy that was on the defense. Second holding penalty of the drive. Houston not confident in their technique right now and grabbing too much, according to these officials.
A couple of costly penalties defensively from Houston. That came in ranked 3rd in the Big 12, allowing just 124 passing yards per game. Sorsby with 91 already. Set to throw again here. So calm in the pocket. Dumps it out to Kiner. Kiner with another first down inside the 10-yard line for the Bearcats. I'll tell you what, he's new on the scene. He got 7 starts last year at Indiana, but I could not be more impressed with Brendan Sorsby.
Look, he finds Brandon Mack, number 4, just kind of out there in space. Mack doesn't know if he should take the back who's too far away from him or the quarterback. And Sorsby just does the right thing and gets it to Kiner. And it does seem to be coming almost too easily for him in this game. We got an injured player out there for Houston.
Walking off the field back after this.
With wet AMD, I worry I'm not only losing my sight, but my time to enjoy it. But now, I can open up my world with Vabysmo. Right. Vabysmo is the first FDA-approved treatment for people with wet AMD that improves vision and delivers a chance for up to 4 months between treatments, so I can do more of what I love. Vabysmo works differently. It's the only treatment designed to block 2 causes of wet AMD.
Vabysmo is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection, active eye swelling, or are allergic to it. Treatments like Vabysmo can cause an eye infection or retinal detachment. Vabysmo may cause a temporary increase in eye pressure after receiving the injection. There is an uncommon risk of heart attack or stroke associated with blood clots. Severe swelling of blood vessels in the eye can occur. Most common eye side effects were cataract and broken blood vessels.
Open up your world with Vabysmo.
A chance for up to 4 months between treatments with Vabysmo. Ask your doctor.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Old Trapper beefs. One-upping.
I'm a big Old Trapper fan. Not bigger than me. I love Old Trapper. I love how tender it is. Don't forget the wood smoke flavor.
What about the clear bag?
That shows you exactly what you're getting.
Savory beef.
Quality ingredients. I'm their biggest fan.
I'm their
Old Trapper, what's your beef?
Will you sign my bag and my tattoo?
Let game day begin!
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
I'm Carl Alberg, Chief of Police. I can always tell when somebody's lying to me.
Murder in a Small Town, series premiere this Tuesday on Fox.
I tell you what, Pete, Brendan Sorsby has been absolutely outstanding thus far. It's the same thing we've seen on tape.
He's absolutely nails so far in this one at home. And the thing I'm really impressed with is the way he sets his feet before he throws the ball. A little bit creative on that last one to Kiner, but how did this guy get out of the clutches of Indiana? This is a huge jewel of a transfer quarterback for Scott Satterfield.
Fake the handoff to Kiner. Sorsby wrapped up at the 15-yard line. Xavier Stillman with the sack from his nose guard spot.
Desperately needed positive play from Houston. Before that, it was 20 plays, 10 first downs for Cincinnati. They get backed up a little bit because of a good tackle by Stillman. Finally getting to Sorsby. Maybe that'll affect his confidence. I doubt it, though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing. 2nd and goal here. Now you're in a passing situation, most likely. Here's Sorsby throwing again. Left side of the field, up top. Got him again! Xavier Xavier Henderson. What a throw by Brendan Sorsby. He is on fire.
Well, they don't have an answer for Henderson when they throw it to him deep. It was Latrell McCutcheon that time after Kristen Davis with a holding penalty and getting beat in the first quarter. That time they try McCutcheon over against Henderson, and it doesn't look like they're able to guard him one-on-one, especially with how accurate Sorsby has been. He just laid that one up there again for Henderson to go get, and you're absolutely right. The sack turned it into a passing down, and that hurt Houston because Sorsby's been so excellent.
You say you wonder how he escaped Indiana. I wonder how he got out of the state of Texas. Sorsby was injured in high school, moved around positions a little bit, quarterback, then wide receiver, then back to quarterback, had one Power 5 offer. That was from Indiana. And now here he is at Cincinnati, and he is certainly looking like one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. This pass, a thing of beauty to Henderson. Sorsby, 9 of 10, 2 touchdown passes already. It's 21-0. Cincinnati on top at home.
People call me a character coach. I don't coach one specific sport or team because I'm passionate about helping young people to find their purpose and identity outside of the court. Working with Thrivent on my finances, I felt like I could give more of my time and talent to help kids in my community. It's allowed me to live what I consider a truly rich life.
So here's the thing about Bernie Moreno. Ohio already voted to protect abortion rights, and this guy would completely ignore us.
Bernie Moreno supports a national ban on abortion and said he's 100% against abortion with no exceptions.
I never imagined I would live in a world where my daughter has fewer rights than I do. And as a mom, I won't let anyone stand in her way. And I won't let Bernie Moreno go to the Senate.
WinSenate is responsible for the content of this ad.
You know, those mornings when it takes just a little bit extra to get you out of bed? This might be it.
Wake up to the goodness of Jimmy Dean.
Some people want double the chicken, slow roasted in a burrito with crisp, fresh purple cabbage. Some people don't. And some people are wrong. The Cantina Chicken Burrito, only at Taco Bell.
It's Fox College Football Friday. New conference foes square off as Washington takes on Kyle Monunga and Rutgers. Unbelievable! Fox College Football Friday kicks off at 8 Eastern.
21-0 Cincinnati on top after the second Sorsby to Henderson touchdown connection. A 14-play, 80-yard drive that ate up over 7 minutes of clock. Offensively, Cincinnati clicking on every single cylinder possible.
Yeah, they gave up a sack and then turned around and threw it right into the end zone for a touchdown, as you predicted. Houston with a pretty good drive last time. We'll see if they can get it going again. The missed kick really hurt their momentum.
First 2 drives, 13 yards combined for Houston. Last drive, 10 plays, 77 yards. Had a very makeable field goal attempt that was missed by their kicker, Joseph Kim. Now look at the passing numbers for Donovan Smith. 52 of those yards came on one completion to Joseph Manjack.
And you can see flashes of why Donovan Smith is the starter in Houston. He's big, he can run that long pass, but consistency's been an issue.
They look outside, quick pass, and then dump it off down low. Parker coming in with a monster hit to make sure that they aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, they tried to run a middle screen with a fake out to the edge and threw it short, and it was read perfectly by the freshman Parker. They're playing a lot of true freshmen for Cincinnati in this high school class that they have, and Parker's one of them. We saw Sanks make a big play earlier.
6 negative plays in the game so far for this Houston offense. And this almost another one. Manjack just nowhere to go. A couple of defenders there. Galde making the stop.
Manjack maybe turned and paused a little bit too much. There might have been a couple more yards in there, but not much. Well defended, like you said. Where do they go here on 3rd and 13? This has been a dangerous down for Houston as far as mistakes go. They don't need to give it back to Cincinnati either.
Let's see if they play conservative here, take a shot. Donovan Smith looking to the right side. He's going to have to tuck it and run, and again he slips. Only picks up 3 or 4. That's going to bring out the punting unit.
And that is the 3rd time that he has slipped down trying to create something in that pocket after things have broken down. Houston dropping 8 guys, it looked like, in that situation, and Cincinnati dropping 8 guys, and Donovan Smith just couldn't find a receiver.
Out comes the left-footed Liam Doherty. Replaced fellow Aussie Lane Wilkins at the punter spot. Pressure coming off both edges. Luckily able to get that off. Bobbles the ball for a minute, does Tyron Smith. Able to hold on to it. Surrounded by 4 Houston Cougars. Very lucky break for the Bearcats at Smith. Able to hold on to the ball. Here's another look. Calls for the fair catch. But as soon as he bobbles it, they're able to attack. But good concentration there by the 5th-year senior and UTEP transfer. We do have a flag down on the play, waiting to see the call here.
I think they're talking about the catch radius, but the bobble, I think, changes things. You see the special teams coordinator, Kerry Combs, for Cincinnati on the sideline, trying to help explain it.
Yeah, it's my understanding that as soon as he bobbles the ball, that it's open season.
There was a signal, kick catch interference, kicking team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down. Time out on the field.
He made a signal, but he bobbled it. Called it anyway.
Great start for Cincinnati so far. 3 touchdowns on the board. 2 of those coming from their quarterback, Sorsby.
Our vision changed everything. Superconductivity research at the University of Houston helped shape the modern world. But we didn't stop there. Today, UH researchers are still pushing the boundaries of what's possible with superconductivity. Faster transit, more efficient energy, better medical diagnostics. We're not just imagining the future, we're building it.
Everything you thought you knew is brand new.
We on a new wave. This ain't what it was.
See, when the game changes, so do we. Every day, every play. Always been greater than 12, now standing 16 strong. In every end zone, any time zone. When everyone else keeps asking, what's next? We know.
The free breakfasts and Wi-Fi, or the romantic getaways? With 24 trusted brands by Wyndham to choose from, your Wyndham is waiting. Get the lowest price at wyndhamhotels.com.
Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against the Saints. Then, in America's Game of the Week, Lamar and the Ravens take on Dak and the Cowboys.
Touchdown, Dallas!
It's a huge doubleheader, Sunday on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
So we did consult with our rules expert, Dean Blandino. Once the arm goes up for the fair catch, Smith is given the opportunity to complete the catch, and the Houston coverage unit has to give him the opportunity to do so. So the ball essentially has to hit the ground before they can make contact with the return man. So that was the penalty. And this is Corey Kiner picking up 2.
Tough call for Houston, and they desperately need a stop here.
Here's the first 4 possessions for Cincinnati after punting on the first drive, 3 consecutive touchdowns.
And remember, that first touchdown was off an interception, and then the floodgates really opened up. Houston, one good drive, but a missed field goal.
Sorsby rolling to his left, and wide open is Tony Johnson. I'll tell you what, it seems like far too many easy completions if your defensive coordinator Sheil Wood for Houston. Can't like what he's seeing so far.
He's very comfortable rolling out to the left and turning those shoulders, and he's got that tight end Royer who's catching a lot of attention closer to the line of scrimmage. This is the second time he's laid it out there for the second or deep receiver. That time, Johnson.
10 straight completions for Brendan Sorsby. Keeping it on the ground. Here's Kiner, 1 cut, and picks up 6 more.
Usually they're a pretty heavy zone team. That time they pull an offensive lineman, and Kiner comes underneath them, and just very sneaky, getting 5 yards very quickly in a very impactful way, wearing out this Houston defense.
Corey Kiner coming into this game with more broken tackles than any running back in the nation, and you can see why. Team voted him captain this week. Says he's a silent leader, doesn't say a whole lot, but certainly his play does the talking for him. Here's Kiner again. Houston doing a nice job defensively. Jamal Morris, one of the first there from his middle linebacker spot.
Yeah, Morris started last year. He competes really hard. Anthony Holmes there also. Sophomore nose tackle.
Houston defense coming in ranked 3rd in the Big 12, giving up just 239 yards per game. They've given up 207 here in the first half to this Cincinnati offense, which has proved to be quite potent. We're at the 2-minute mark. Back in a moment.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster? Guy's got everything in the world. Why do it? Tommy, why?
Yeah, Tommy. Why don't you lay on a beach getting fat on pina coladas? Why not buy a soccer team? Got one. Dude, why would they ask why? What are they even talking about? Kid, what they're really asking is, why don't you quit football? They don't understand that you live and breathe for football. Because you're Tom freaking Brady.
And one day, maybe the greatest there ever was.
Back to work.
Honey?
But the gains are pumping.
Yeah, the market's closed.
Futures don't sleep in the after hours, bro.
Dad, is Mommy a finance bro?
She switched careers to make money for your weddings.
Ooh, penny stocks are blowing up. Sweetie, grab your piggy bank. We're going all in. Let me ask you, for your wedding, do you want a gazebo and a river?
What's a gazebo?
Something that your mother always wanted and never got.
Or you could give these different investment options a shot.
The right money moves aren't as aggressive as you think.
I'm keeping the best.
This is not a drill. Subway dropped the price on all their subs. 20% off any sub, any size.
Subway did what? Any sub?
Yep. For a limited time, you get 20% off when you order in the app. Hurry and get this deal before it's gone.
Amazon Q from AWS is the new generative AI-powered assistant for using your company's data, creating apps, and making decisions. Here's musician Jelly Roll to explain.
Basically, Amazon Q is like my tattoos, but instead of just making me look awesome, they also inspire my music, help teach me things, and even predict the future.
I definitely didn't predict that.
What, the new tattoo? You like it though, right?
Amazon Q, the power of generative AI with the speed and security of AWS.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. Moving piles of earth, towing up to 4,000 pounds, cutting millions of blades of grass. Nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in.
State Farm halftime, Ohio State with one final tune-up before Big Ten play. Can Florida cool down the hot seat for Billy Napier? And our guys tell us who has the edge in today's huge Utah-Oklahoma State matchup. Dan and Petros, my brothers, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Third down coming up for Cincinnati. They haven't seen third down very often in this game. Just the fourth time today, 2 of 3 so far. And here's Sorsby calling his own number. Picks up 2. And looks like they were almost content just to settle for a field goal on that one.
Interesting moment there as far as play call from Brad Glenn, the OC for Cincinnati. Sorsby not even waiting for that play to develop, just tried to take it immediately to the line of scrimmage, and they bring out one of the great stories last week in college football.
Oh, Nathan Hawks last week, his first ever kick for Cincinnati from 55 yards out. And this would have been good from 70p. And not only does he hit a 55-yarder, he hits a 50-yarder as well. The first time in the 137-year history of Cincinnati football that a kicker nailed 2 50-yard kicks in one game.
Yeah, their original kicker, Carter Brown, had an injury, so Hawks hung around in camp, and when Brown started struggling, they put him in there, and he's become an overnight sensation here in Cincinnati.
Kickoff specialist about midway through last season. Started his first game as a kicker last week, had that pair of 50-yarders. And this one is pure from 46. So Nathan Hawks now a perfect 3 for 3 on the season. A 46-yarder, a 50-yarder, and a 55-yarder for the fifth-year senior from Einan, Ohio, and the former Wittenberg kicker.
Just perfectly executed. Nice hold from Fletcher, that big long punter. And it almost felt like situationally, Dan, like you said, Coach Satterfield wanted to see Hawks kick it again.
Just make sure he's still hot after last week.
Wasn't just a fluke.
Well, he looks pretty darn good. You mentioned it, Petros, one of the best stories in college football.
Yeah, guys thought his career was over.
Was at Wittenberg College and thought he was going to call it a career. His first kick there was a missed extra point. Ends up transferring to Cincinnati, walks on, and then gets his first opportunity to kick in a Big 12 game last week and just answers the call, making history.
Talk about the portal and talk about NIL. There's Coach Satterfield, who was so excited to tell us the story. You can talk about all these modern things in college football, but we still have great stories like that week in and week out.
And the return here from Massey out to about the 20-yard line. Tomorrow it's an NFL doubleheader on Fox as Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against the Saints or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens taking on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Check for the games in your area only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Big game for both the Cowboys and the Ravens there. Backs up against the wall a little bit early in the season. Speaking of backs against the wall, Houston desperately needed to put some points on the board, down 24-0 with 1:45 to go in the first half. An easy completion to Stephon Johnson. They'd like to get him more involved in the offense.
Yeah, they need more of that. Get the ball to some of these playmakers out on the edge. Muse, Johnson, Manjack. We saw the long pass to Manjack earlier. Let these guys create with their legs a little bit. Don't put all the pressure on Smith.
Stunning statistic there. 90 total yards for Cincinnati in this quarter. Just 2 prior to that last pass for Houston. But they're moving the ball here. Just over 1.5 to go. That one to Stacy Snead.
Sometimes a 2-minute drill can wake up a quarterback's accuracy as they get the tempo going a little bit.
3rd and 1 for Smith. Plenty of time. He's going to pick up the first down with his feet, as he has done several times thus far today, and gets out of bounds.
Jack Dingle forces him out of bounds, but good awareness there from Smith. Starting to look more and more comfortable, especially starting with the last drive. Dingle, a Bearcat staple, family of Bearcats.
We'll check on whether it's a family or a pack, Petros.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. A coven?
A coven. Pressure coming on Smith. Eludes it easily, but trying to get it over to Stacy Sneed. Broken up by Arnold. Nice hit.
Yeah, that's a tough way to get to your running back. Very late on the outlet, and Sneed really just sort of standing there waiting for the ball for a while, and it comes late, and Arnold at that point, young guy in a Long Beach transfer from Idaho, able to make the play.
Not a jackrabbit from Long Beach Poly. Dominguez Hills, I believe. 2nd and 10. Smith with time. Short crossing route. That one is complete. Galde on the stop. Not much there for Jonah Wilson.
Third down situation for Donovan Smith. Not a great position on the field. How much risk do they want to put into this? They don't want to give up another score before half.
Smith again, short pass, going to be shy of the sticks. And not really a chance for the tight end Malik Carr to get there, as he was wrapped up by 3 Cincinnati defenders. Time winding down here, and just nothing going for Houston offensively. They had that one shot play to Joseph Manjack that went for 52 yards, put him in scoring position. But then it was a missed field goal by Joseph Kim, and in terms of good things offensively, it was basically that one play in the first half, and that's about it.
Cincinnati defense has had a lot to say about that. They have been hitting hard, coming up and making plays in the short passing world for Houston. Really just kind of stifling their athleticism. These guys can't get their legs going. Young guys like Sanks flying up, making plays, Parker, and of course staples like Corleone and Dingle, and we saw Minkins and Canteen make some good plays too from the safety position. They're starting to develop their rotation in the secondary.
Cincinnati really coming around defensively. They held Miami of Ohio to 24 yards on the ground last week, the lowest total since 2020. A huge improvement after allowing Towson and Pitt both to run for 190 plus. Houston forced to punt. And the ball bouncing to the 5-yard line before it's down by Houston. 14 seconds left on the clock for Cincinnati, who will presumably go into the locker room content to be up here by 4 scores.
And it looks about exactly like it has been. Cincinnati has come out and really controlled this game. Yes, they gave up one drive to Houston, ended in a missed field goal. They had a nice stop inside the red zone. A lot of good things to look at for Cincinnati. And as far as Houston goes, we sort of talked about it in the intro of our show. They're sort of a year behind where Cincinnati is, because Willie Fritz is in his first year, and Coach Satterfield there in his second year has more of a vision of what he wants his program to be like here in the Big 12.
Sorsby running up to the line and downing the football, as Cincinnati will go into the locker room up 24-0. Houston are going to get first shot on offense as they will receive in the second half. So 24-zip here in Cincinnati. An absolute first down machine, has at least twice as many targets as the next leading pass catcher on this team. And defensively for Cincinnati, they've been equally as strong with that early interception that turned into points for the Bearcats. And now Houston desperately trying to make something happen on their first drive of the second half here. Just 109 total yards and 6 first downs for their offense led by senior quarterback Donovan Smith, who really hasn't had a whole lot going through the air. That one long play to Joseph Manjack, and then that led to a missed field goal. So searching for points here as we begin the second half. Keeping it on the ground. Nice piece of running. It's Sanford the second with the first carry and the first down of the second half for the Cougars.
Explosive freshman running back Rashawn Sanford behind the right tackle Jake Wiley there, and doing a good job kind of hiding behind him. Only 5'9", Wiley at 6'6", burrowing and finding a hole. This is a huge drive for Houston and a great opportunity for some semblance of positivity.
Smith dumping it off to Sanford, going to be about a yard shy of the first down. Sanford listed as the starter at running back, but really he's had less usage than Stacey Sneed in this game, and getting more production out of him here in the second half.
It's a very difficult situation when you lack offensive consistency, because then you don't get to roll the backs through that you want to. They really go 5 deep, which is a little too deep if you don't have the offensive consistency they're looking for.
2nd and 3. And again, the pass delivered a bit late. Smith was looking for Stephon Johnson. Flag coming in.
And Jordan Young was a little early there.
Pass interference, defense, number 1, 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
Well, Cincinnati fans having nightmares about Kansas City and PI penalties. Those Bengals.
Luckily for them, they have a 24-point lead here, but you're right. That can make a few of them cringe. First down for the Cougars. Smith looks to his right, tucks it, and runs. Picks up 5.
Another designed run. Trying to fake the ball out to Sanford on the wheel route or bubble route there. And then turning and running. And it doesn't look like much, but 4 yards with that big body is how Houston has moved the ball throughout the game. Can they get into the red zone and create something with one of these dangerous perimeter guys?
Running tempo now, 2nd and 6. Again on play action, takes a shot, just a second of the game, and just can't connect with Johnson. He was about a foot away from goodness.
He was coming a long way across. And Smith just kind of laid that ball out there. You see Johnson running kind of a corner route from that opposite slot, and might not have been able to locate the ball there. Didn't really lay out for it. Mistimed by Smith.
3rd and 6. Keeping it on the ground. There is some room. Ball's out. Ball's out. Cincinnati jumps on top of it. And Gola Collard is Johnny on the spot for Cincinnati. Houston breaks through with a big run. Ball on the deck, and the Bearcats recover.
So here's the thing about Bernie Moreno. Ohio already voted to protect abortion rights, and this guy would completely ignore us.
Bernie Moreno supports a national ban on abortion and said he's 100% against abortion with no exceptions.
I never imagined I would live in a world where my daughter has fewer rights than I do. And as a mom, I won't let anyone stand in her way. And I won't let Bernie Moreno go to the Senate.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Aisle 27. That's how a pro finishes. CJ Stroud putting up points with Milo's rewards.
He is really cleaning up.
Come on, man. McCaffrey under pressure. Getting it same day, that's clutch. In-store, online, our Lowe's team has you covered.
How many people did you invite? It's cool. They're from Dallas.
Order Pizza Hut now and get a free large pizza later. That's a free pizza on your next order. So you can pizza now, then pizza again. Free pizza means your next dinner is covered. Your future self will thank you. Get it while it's hot. Only at Pizza Hut.
Are you ready? Let game day begin!
Grab a Pepsi and make your game day epic.
Jalen Hurts leads the Eagles against the Saints. Then, in America's Game of the Week, Lamar and the Ravens take on Dak and the Cowboys.
Touchdown, Dallas!
It's a huge doubleheader, Sunday on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
24-0. Cincinnati remains on top of Houston. Cougars with the shot here. Draw this up for us, Petros. What happened?
Well, he's going to end up giving it to Sanford, but the hole is here for Donovan Smith. He ends up giving it up to the back. Sanford, the young back, sees it and follows his quarterback into the hole that was going to be there, but he's late because he should have never had the ball. Jack Dingle comes and knocks him into Derek Canteen, who causes the fumble. You see he gets off balance, has the ball in the right arm and everything, but Canteen perfectly placed shot there. Smith can't help to block because it all happens behind him.
Houston in the red zone for just the second time today. First time they have a missed field goal, then a turnover. Corey Kiner making a couple of guys miss, picks up 4.
They have been able to move the ball on a couple of occasions, but nothing to show for it. And now Cincinnati's dominant offense with this great, very consistent offensive line back on the field. A nightmare for Cougar fans.
Yeah, the offensive line for the Bearcats, led by John Williams and Gerhardt, Luke Kandra, DeAndre Buford, Philip Wilder at right tackle, who's back from injury. One of the strengths of the team, no doubt. 2nd and 6, time for Sorsby, bobbled and caught by Sterling Burkhalter.
Yeah, if he caught it the first time, it would have been a first down. Bobbling it and going backwards makes it a 3rd down. You see the guys on the offensive line you mentioned, they're without DT. D'Artagnan today was almost a game time decision, but so much experience up front, and in today's day and age, what a luxury.
Yeah, it just makes a huge difference to have guys. Heck, you look on the other side of the ball, 4 new starters for Houston on the offensive line.
And to have 5 guys that you can depend on means you're developing guys behind them. Guys behind them are seeing how those 5 guys prepare and communicate. And for Kiner, he really understands how to run behind this offensive line. A lot of patience, a lot of impact in the contact zone as we see a Houston Coug down.
Yeah, we'll get you the number as soon as we can see it. But in regards to Kiner, he had 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns last year. Well on his way to another 1,000-yard season this year. 24-0 as it stands right now here in Cincinnati. Back in a moment.
Set summer in motion with a Honda Accord Hybrid, CR-V Hybrid, new Civic Hybrid, or all-electric Prologue SUV. Take a vacation, staycation, or just a weekend drive with the windows down. Whatever you do, make it epic with Honda. The 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Overall EV and Hybrid Brand. So act now. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or hurry into the Honda Summer Event.
Vote Cheddar Bay 2024, because when Red Lobster's biscuits rise, America thrives. So come in now for a chance to win 4 years of free Red Lobster, because one bite can unite all parties, at least for dinner.
If you have to cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, drop, and haul all in a single day, then you just have to get in the seat of the new John Deere Gator XUV. Learn more at your John Deere price.
Because you get all of this for as low as $2 per refill. Half of what the other guys charge. Wake up to Harry's. Get your trial set for just $7 at Harry's.com.
When I get paid, my pay lets me get up to $500 of my pay when I need it. There's no interest, no credit checks, no mandatory fees. And that's why I Chime. Join me at chime.com and get paid when you say.
There's an easier way to bank and get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less when you download Dave.
Last time Houston and Cincinnati played here in Cincinnati, the AAC championship game, both teams ranked in the top 25. Desmond Ridder threw for 3 touchdowns. Jerome Ford ran for 187 and a couple of touchdowns. Sauce Gardner and Cincinnati win it 35-20. They moved to 13-0 and ultimately made the college football playoff. One of the great years in Cincinnati history here at Nippert Stadium. They are currently up 24-0, putting on a very impressive offensive display thus far. Corey Kiner and the running game, Chance Williams getting that carry. Kiner's been the workhorse thus far with 77 yards. Williams picks up 4 on his first carry of the game.
Yeah, they go down 3 deep now to the running back, Chance Williams. Transfer out of Grambling State, and they said they wanted to get him some good carries, and I would say that one qualifies, and there he is all the way back there in the pistol again.
Second and 6. Here's Williams again with room around the left side, using his blockers well. And best run of the game for Chance Williams. Picks up a first down and then some. 16-yard gain for Chance Williams.
The captain, right guard, Luke Kendra. Number 67 and 87, Gavin Grover. You're going to see those guys just convoying out there. He was supposed to take it underneath, but Houston kind of crowded things inside, and they all bubbled to the outside. They play together really well. The offensive line and the running backs really see the field together in this pistol run game look.
From the 45, Sorsby's going to air it out, has a man downfield, and another big play for Sorsby. This one going to Sterling Burkhalter.
Well, that's 12 straight passes completed for Sorsby, and that is the first time since 2022 any Bearcat quarterback has done that. And every throw he has, this one to Burkhalter, another local guy transferred from NCA&T. All he has to do is just turn and open his arms, and every ball Sorsby throws, it feels like it drops right between the numbers on these guys.
49-yard gain. That wasn't terrible coverage, but you're right. He's been
McCutcheon was right on him.
And a timeout. Has been called. Sorsby has been excellent, 12 of 13. 189 yards through the air, and everything has been perfect for him. Friday night on Fox, it's a coast-to-coast Big Ten face-off as Washington takes on Rutgers. That's Friday at 8 Eastern on Fox. Kind of digging these Friday night games, P. We're going to have a couple up and down the road.
Last night, very exciting.
Speaking of good matchups, how about the ranked matchups today? Your Trojans taking on the Wolverines at 3:30 Eastern. The Utes in Oklahoma State so far, the cream of the crop in the Big 12. That's at 4 right here on Fox. And then my Tennessee Vols at Oklahoma to open up the SEC slate for both of these teams.
How about Gundy versus Whittingham? 2 flat tops, one with a bullet.
I'd love to see the Oklahoma drill between those two.
Oof.
I'll take Kyle on that. He's going up against former quarterback.
He's
a quarterback.
Very crafty.
Sorsby looking in the end zone, and just the second incompletion of the game for Sorsby. We haven't seen that very often.
That was his biggest miss of the game. That was the low light of the game for the Cincinnati quarterback, trying to get that to Tony Johnson. It falls a few yards in front of his feet. It's been that kind of day for Cincinnati, getting the ball to a bunch of different receivers, 3 running backs carrying the ball. Kiner back in the game now. And Sorsby pushing all the right buttons.
9 different receivers for Sorsby. Going to call his own number this time. He can run a little bit, puts his shoulders down, and Sorsby in for another Bearcat touchdown. Runs right over A.J. Halsey. We knew he could run a little bit, putting his shoulder down and hitting Pater. What a game for the sophomore from Denton, Texas.
Halsey is a tough tackling boundary safety who really knows what he's doing. Transfer from the Rocky Long defenses of New Mexico. And look at him. Just bolo him through the end zone. He's shown everything. Poise, tenacity. What a great game for that quarterback.
Extra point is up and good. Sorsby, a big kid, 6'3", goes almost 230 pounds, slinging the rock to perfection. And check this out. Nobody's stopping Brendan Sorsby. 31-0, Bearcats.
You know what's brilliant? Boring. Think about it. Boring is the unsung catalyst for bold.
What straps bold to a rocket and hurtles it into space? Boring does.
Boring makes vacations happen.
Early retirement's possible.
And startups start up.
Because it's smart, dependable, and steady. All words you want from your bank. For nearly 160 years, PNC Bank has been brilliantly boring, so you can be happily fulfilled. Which is pretty unboring if you think about it.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
Looking for a reason to try the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5. That's everything you get with the new $5 meal deal at McDonald's.
Sargento! They're salty, they're sweet, balanced grapes can't be beat. Fruit and nuts for you, natural cheese and crackers too. All together in a pack, the delicious balanced snack.
Sargento, we're real cheese people. Your Wyndham is waiting to help you check things off your bucket list and his. With 24 trusted brands by Wyndham to choose from, your Wyndham is waiting. Get the lowest price at WyndhamHotels.com.
Febreze. I use Febreze Fabric Refresher every day to make my home smell amazing. On my bed, my couch, my jacket or jeans, in between washes, even shoes. Febreze doesn't cover up odors with scent, but fights them and freshens. Over 1,000 uses. Febreze Fabric Refresher.
With Multiview on NFL Sunday Ticket, every game can be the most important game. NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Watch every game, every Sunday, all in one place.
This season, there are 100 more of you. This whole thing just got tougher.
Hyena. Hippopotamus. Pass.
Light it up!
The Floor premieres Wednesday after The Masked Singer on Fox.
Perfect scenario if you're Cincinnati up 31-0 here at Nippert Stadium. Not so much if you're the Cougars of Houston. That last drive, 8 plays, 89 yards, 4 minutes. And then the quarterback, Sorsby, with the touchdown run, the third drive of 80 or more yards for Cincinnati today. And a busy day for their kicker, Nathan Hawks. Ball on the deck for a moment. That's Massey. Does a nice job breaking the tackle and getting out to the 25-yard line. Go ahead, Pete.
In the first half, Cincinnati turned Houston over, turned it into a touchdown beginning of the second half. Houston with a bit of a drive, turns it over, and Cincinnati answers right back. They haven't been helpless, but the score looks like they have, and now we've removed the quarterback.
So Donovan Smith looks on as the sophomore, Zion Chris, the Louisiana transfer in his first year at Houston, into the game at quarterback. And he is very dangerous with his feet. Picks up 8 yards on that carry. He was in the game a bit earlier. on a run play for Houston, but a little more, maybe a little more spry, just a little more speed for Chris than Smith. Donovan Smith can run the ball as well. Smith a bit bigger.
Well, they said they wanted to get Zion in the game as he's getting healthier and healthier. Nice lead block there by Stacey Sneed, and pretty good gain on first down. Empty backfield for him.
Second and 2 for Chris. Scans the area. Cuts it back inside. Picks up the first down, and he's out to the 46-yard line. Well done by Zion Chris, a gain of 12.
I mean, he stopped his feet about 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage, and I thought he was a sitting duck there, and then he's able to take off to the left and create a little bit more. And Houston's got another first down. They started out pretty well in the second half, driving before the fumble, remember.
Houston keeping it on the ground. That's Stacey Sneed. Picks up 1. And a good job on the defensive side of the ball. Cam Rutherford, kind of a utility guy, plays a little nose tackle and defensive end for the Cincinnati defense.
Yeah, he comes in usually to spell the Godfather, Dante Corleone. So Rutherford right now right in the middle at that nose guard position.
Second and 9, going to keep it on the ground again with Chris. Stop short of the first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 2. That was Brian Sims on the stop. Cincinnati offensively, we talked about how good they've been. Defensively, pretty strong as well, with a couple of takeaways, 6 TFLs, and they've allowed under 200 total yards. 3rd and 2. Zion Chris patiently running, maybe a little bit too patient, as he was wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. It's Josh Minkins who had that early interception with the play.
Minkins really able to burrow his way into the backfield and get to Chris. And like you said, Chris is almost kind of hiding there, waiting for that block, and the block never came. He wanted to come up underneath, and Minkins just too quick to the ball, makes another good play, and they're going to go for it here. Not much choice with the score.
4th and 2. Zion Chris looks to throw. This time he tucks it and runs. Chris stretching for the first down, and he gets it. So we still have yet to see a pass from the sophomore Zion Chris, but very effective with his legs thus far.
Yeah, carrying Parker to the first down, and they got a hold of him behind the sticks. And this is a strong young man at 6'3", 210. You see Parker holding on at 265, and he can't hold the young quarterback back from getting that first down.
It's been Chris running the ball 5 times on this drive so far. This time the give to Parker Jenkins. And Cam Rutherford again there on the stop. So Chris played a bit against UNLV, ran the ball 3 times for 16 yards in that game, but he has yet to complete or attempt to pass this season.
He's dropped back. He looks like he might throw a couple of times.
I have a feeling we'll see that a little bit. Maybe here on 2nd and 8. Pressure coming. Not able to get the pass off there. Cameron Wilson from his defensive end spot wraps him up for the sack. For Wilson, it's sack number 2 on the season.
Wilson, one of those guys from Louisville, on that cross blitz with both linebackers, Dingle and Wilson, and they both really get home and get to Chris. And here's another throwing opportunity for Zion Chris.
3rd and 15 for the young quarterback. And they're just going to keep it on the ground here. Spinning out of 2 tackles is Parker Jenkins until he is met right away by 3 different Cincinnati defenders, including Antoine Peak from that star position coming in.
They run the ball there with Jenkins because I think they want a more manageable 4th down to go for it. Was that enough for him to try it? And yes, it was. 4th and 10, going to give it a shot here.
So now from the 45 in plus territory, Zion Chris with Parker Jenkins beside him in the backfield. First pass of the game and unable to stay in bounds is Mekhi Muse. So it will be a turnover on downs. The Cincinnati offense going to roll back out with a 31-0 lead here at Nippert Stadium. 3:04 left in the 3rd. Back with you in a moment.
Chase knows how to put the heart in your local community. Evan, you helping them with savings, right? Somebody just got their first debit card. Ice cream on you? Your money is a part of your community, so your bank should be too, like Chase.
Wendy's took their nugs to a whole new level with sauce. Seems like everyone's trying to get their fingers on them. Stop that! When you gotta bring the sauce on game day, gotta be Wendy's.
Cleaning your dog's teeth can be hard. But not with Greenie's dental treats. Greenie's, well-being made wonderful.
This is an election year unlike any other.
America is ready.
And so are we.
Democracy 24. Your freedom, your vote.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
When things go sideways, will you be prepared? I want to introduce you to the Patriot Power Generator 2000X. Use the endless free power of the sun to power lights, your TV, medical equipment, even run your fridge. And that's without gas, fumes, or noise. Go to 4patriots.com. You'll get a solar panel included free, double the capacity, expandable for more power, and more outlets than ever. This is about peace of mind. Get your solar generator and free panel at 4patriots.com.
What's the order?
50-cent boneless wings.
50-cent boneless wings on 2. Ready? Break.
Hey, bro. 50-cent boneless wings every day, only at Applebee's.
Good times rolling here in Cincinnati, up 31-0. It was the largest halftime lead in a conference game since 2021 against SMU, as we have 3 and change left here in the 3rd quarter. Nippert Stadium happy with what they have seen here in the first conference game of the year. They only won 1 conference game all of last year, none of them coming at Nippert Stadium. Sorsby going deep. And that one is broken up there at the last minute. Jeremiah Wilson getting a hand on it. And just the 3rd incompletion of the game for Brendan Sorsby, who has been fantastic.
Now, Wilson was having a good time with it because finally one of those balls with a lot of air under it that Sorsby's been throwing with so much confidence throughout the afternoon gets batted down. 3 incompletions. That's all he's had.
188 yards, couple of touchdowns. He has just been dropping dimes on nearly every pass. Hershey McLaurin, great play behind the line of scrimmage from that safety anchor spot, as they call it.
Yeah, they expect more of that from him as the season goes on. Really played out of his mind versus Rice to get that Bayou bucket back. That time in the backfield making a big play. And interesting to see Sorsby in a 3rd and long situation. He hasn't been in these kind of adverse situations behind the sticks much at all.
Well, certainly not today, and not a whole lot this season, to be honest with you. They've only trailed for 17 seconds. Pittsburgh with that huge comeback win. And 3rd and 12. They're going to keep it on the ground again. Wanted to chew up a little clock, sitting on a 31-0 lead. That was their second 3rd and long today. They haven't faced a whole lot of 3rd downs. Punting unit coming out with 6'7" Mason Fletcher. Best punter in the Big 12. Gonna get another chance to boot it here deep to Mekhi Muse.
We haven't seen enough of him for Houston. Muse has been a big-time contributor. Not much this afternoon.
False start. Offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Muse, of course, with that 75-yard punt return for a touchdown versus Rice. There's Kerry Combs, none too pleased. High school coaching legend in Cincinnati. Spent some time with Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans as well.
Colerain Cardinals, a legend in this area. Unhappy special teams coordinator right there. Nice head of hair, though.
No doubt about it. I think we have a flag down here as the punt is caught at the 20-yard line. I think he might have run into the punter. There's a lot of punter to run into. Fletcher's a pretty big kid.
Pretty sloppy here. There is a lot of him to run into, but certainly avoidable.
Running into the kicker. Defense number 47. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Houston.
All right, let's check in with Mike Hill quickly for an all-state game break. Mike.
Hey, in his last game, JMU scored 13 total points against Gardner-Webb. Today against North Carolina, scoring is not a problem. Duke's boat racing the undefeated Heels on the road. This Terrence Spence Big Six made it 53-21 nice. Most points allowed by North Carolina in a single half ever. Second half just started, Dan and Petros.
The Dukes of James Madison are absolutely rolling over the Heels. My goodness.
Poor Mac.
Well, JMU has built themselves a nice little program there. And
lost the coach. They're still rolling.
Indeed. Shenandoah Valley. And a lot of room here. That's Rayshawn Sanford II getting more playing time here in the second half. And he now has 4 carries for 53 yards.
He would have gone further. Antoine Peak, another local guy, with the tackle. And we still got Zion Chris in the game at quarterback. Donovan Smith. Been watching a couple drives from the sideline so far here in the second half.
Here's Chris with pressure coming. Just his second pass of the game, first completion of the game. Gets some help from Sanford. And we have a 1st down. Houston with under 30 to go in the 3rd quarter. That was a gain of 16.
Sanford, some really impressive stopping and starting moves. He can get going in a hurry and not afraid to take it up the field.
Here's Sanford again. Looks like he was going to break 3 from that first tackle. Simeon Coleman coming in to make sure he doesn't pick up more than a yard or 2.
Simeon Coleman, another one of those young freshmen. Sanks and Parker.
14 first quarter points, 31 in the game. Houston driving here, trying to get on the board for the first time. And again, it is backup quarterback Zion Chris checking into the game for Donovan Smith, who has been relatively ineffective. And Cincinnati has trailed all of 17 seconds this entire season. That was in that Pitt game where the Panthers made a nice comeback to get the 28-27 win. So they're 17 seconds away from being undefeated.
Yeah, a lot of upset people in the Queen City after that Pitt loss and the rough year last year. And Coach Satterfield looks to have really righted the ship.
Quick pass from Chris. That's Mekhi Muse. Haven't seen a lot of him today. Very close to picking up the first down.
They need more of him. He is a Georgia transfer who played on those great Kirby Smart teams and has shown a lot of leadership and is lightning quick in small spaces. They just haven't been able to have enough consistency on offense to really utilize their weapons. And you got to give Cincinnati's defense and Tyson Veit, their coordinator, credit for that.
4th and 1. Keeping it on the ground. Nice running by Sanford the second. Did he lose the ball, though? Looks like he came down and might have been stripped away there by Jordan Robinson. Was he down or not? That is the question.
Well, he ran right through Jake Golday at the line of scrimmage. This would be his second fumble. He's trying to say he's down as everybody's looking in the stadium. Let's see if his
under further review.
His behind might have hit, but the ball might have been moving before that.
You're going to have to see it again here. Ball's coming out right there.
Yeah, that's a fumble.
That's a fumble.
Jordan Robinson with the strip there. And he is making a great effort to strip that ball. And you see it's moving as Sanford gets kind of whipped down to the ground. Houston moving the ball again and victims of another turnover, it seems.
This would be either a turnover or a missed field goal on their third trip in or near the red zone. Jordan Robinson in there with the fumble recovery. And a heads up play by him. Here's another look.
Yeah, that ball is moving out. And it is a hard thing to do. You know, you want to have two hands on the ball as a running back through that contact zone where people are coming from the right and left. But you also need to have your arms to kind of create and move people out of the way. Tough for the young back. 2 fumbles while Houston's been moving the ball, and he's done a good job fighting for yardage.
Robinson, the Kentucky transfer, rakes that ball away and then comes up with the fumble recovery himself. Great play by the young man from Columbia, South Carolina.
Taking a while to look at this.
Talked about the defensive coordinator, Tyson Veit. First year with Cincinnati, coming over after 8 years as the linebacker coach at Iowa State.
Yeah, those guys from Matt Campbell and Coach Haycock, the defensive coordinator there in Ames, and that Big 12 3 safety look that is so popular in this conference. A lot of those guys getting hired to coordinate from Matt Campbell's coaching tree, and you see what they've done defensively today. They're trying to figure out the spot. Yeah, Dan.
Yeah, I think that's been what's taken him so long is trying to spot the ball. You know, if he
pops out there.
You know, if you come up to the booth, I could probably tell you it's going to be
right there.
Right there. Right there. But, you know.
After further review, ruling on the field was a fumble recovered by the defense. It will be Cincinnati's ball. First down at the 32-yard line.
I think that's right where you drew the line, P.
Work with Blandino enough to know.
Well, you got to feel for Sanford. You have to feel for this Houston offense. But I'll tell you what, they have come up against a Cincinnati defense that has been a problem for them. Forcing turnovers, haven't allowed them to score a single point. And now we get another look at this Cincinnati offense that most likely is going to try to keep this ball on the ground and chew up some clock, especially now you have Brady Lichtenberg in at quarterback. Relieving Sorsby, and they're going to keep it on the ground once again. That's Corey Kiner staying in the game. He lost a couple on that play. And Kendrick Gant on the stop for Houston.
There's Lichtenberg. Young man out of Toledo, Ohio.
Redshirt junior getting a little burn here, up 31-0. Kiner's still in the ball game. My guess is they want to get him to that 100-yard mark. Lichtenberg going to get a chance to throw it here. And he does a nice job. That was not a big throwing window. And that was a nice completion to the tight end. I believe that was Gavin Grover.
They still got Kiner out there. He's at 78 yards. They might want to try to get him to 100 or.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He lost one on that last play, but he's coming in with 2 straight 100-yard games.
They still got Kandra out there, the captain, and Gerhardt, the captain center.
3rd and 1. Lichtenberg, pressure, rolling out to his right, downfield. He was looking for the tight end, Royer. That's going to bring up 4th and 1.
Looked like they got away with Kandra doing a false start there, but officials did not catch it.
They're going to send the offense back out on 4th and 1. Lichtenberg going to be working out of the pistol. And Manny Covey, the redshirt freshman from Florida, in at running back, keeping it on the ground with Covey, who picks up the first down on 4th down. And so Cincinnati going to continue to chew up a bit of clock here. Lichtenberg now in a quarterback again for Brendan Sorsby, who had a great game. 12 of 15, just 3 incompletions. A couple of touchdown passes. So Sorsby now 8 touchdown passes, no interceptions on the year.
Man.
Has been one of the more efficient quarterbacks in the country.
Cincinnati top to bottom has been solid in this game, borderline spectacular.
And again, it's the freshman Covey picking up 8 yards before he's wrapped up by Halsey, who was kind of grabbing at his lower back there after making that tackle. Halsey, the 2nd leading tackler for this Houston defense.
Halsey still smarting from getting run over by Brendan Sorsby in a touchdown earlier this half. And Kiner is out as Covey gets some more run here in the game. But still with that offensive line starting unit mostly out there.
2nd and 1. See if they keep it on the ground again with the young running back Covey. And it's another first down for Covey. Came into the game with 5 carries for 26 yards. And he has 3 for 17 so far here today.
Yeah, more slender than Kiner. Kind of takes a little longer for him to gather his body, more spread out stride, but put it in the right place his last 3 or 4 rushes. Well done.
Chance Williams now in at tailback for Cincinnati. Lichtenberg gonna run it himself, picks up 2. Wrapping him up right away, Juwan Gaston.
What a great set of circumstances for Scott Satterfield, able to work a bunch of situations here as the game goes on. Short yardage situations, kicking situations, got the backup quarterback in, getting some valuable time. It looks like coach is starting to build this program in his image.
Satterfield spent 4 years at Louisville. Longtime head coach at Appalachian State before that. And the complete pass to Devin Zuharski, going to be very close, I think just shy of the line to gain. And this is what is on deck for Cincinnati. They have had 3 of their first 4 games at home, and then it's a couple of road games, Texas Tech and then UCF. Back home against Arizona State, and then they head to Boulder before hosting the Mountaineers. And it is not a terribly tough schedule for them. Cincinnati, assuming with 8 minutes to go, they hold on to this one. Williams breaking a couple of tackles. Improves to 3-1, and then you have a...
Well, you think about those running backs, Dan. You got Harvey at UCF against Kiner. You got Neal at KU. The great running backs in the Big 12. Cincinnati's going to see a few of them with Kiner coming up. Scadaboo, Arizona State. Taj Brooks, Texas Tech. Good running backs in the Big 12, and I can't wait to see how they match up with Cincinnati in these next 5 games.
Year 2 in the Big 12 for both Cincinnati and Houston. And for Scott Satterfield, year 2 as the head coach. Petros, you mentioned it earlier, Houston may be a bit behind in the developmental process with this team.
Well, that's what Willie Fritz was talking about. He wants to coach. He's coached and had so much success at every level of football, and he wanted to coach at the highest level of college football, Big 12 UH, and just one of the most well-respected guys out there. And he is slowly but surely building this program like Satterfield in his image. But as we mentioned, a year behind that, learning to play on the road, in conference. They played quite well at Oklahoma, came home and beat Rice, but getting a lesson here on the road in Cincy.
Lichtenberg looking to go to the air, and he does. Complete to the right side, and then a first down for Sterling Burkhalter. And going to be a fresh shed of the down, setting up 1st and goal.
And they're able to get some more targets for other receivers beyond Henderson, which is something they have to start developing. Good job by Burkhalter coming back for the ball and splitting the defenders. Good ball security there.
Almost 7 minutes on this drive. This is play number 12. And here is Lichtenberg calling his own number down to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal coming up. Halsey again there on the tackle. He's been a busy man in that secondary.
And this Houston defense, they've fought and they've had some moments, but just not enough. And they have been surgically dismantled by Sorsby, and now you see kind of the remnants of that with the backup quarterback. Cincinnati still running plays on time, and sometimes teams exhale a little bit with a big lead like this in the second half, start making mistakes, and certainly that's happened a little bit with the Bearcats, but I think Satterfield's going to be pretty happy with it. 3 tight ends in now as you see them all shifting.
Timeout on the field on 2nd and goal. 31 points on the board for Cincinnati, looking to add a few more here.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. With Skyrizi, feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks. Many people were in remission at 12 weeks, 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to. Liver problems may occur in Crohn's disease.
Ask your gastroenterologist about Skyrizi. AbbVie could help you save.
Hurry up, Agent. Only 20 seconds left.
But which wire should I cut? The red or the blue or the...
Well, it's usually always the blue one.
But there is also a green one and a yellow one.
Oh, there. Red Bull. Behind you. Drink it now.
Of course. Too late.
No Red Bull. New era chicken. A slow roasted era. A quesadilla-shaped era. A cheesy, saucy, era. The Cantina Chicken Quesadilla, only at Taco Bell.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home.
For a limited time, get a free upgrade to Home Internet Plus. Just $50 a month.
The Masked Singer, Season 12. There are clues everywhere.
I can't wait to see what else happens in season 12, guys.
31-0, Cincinnati on top and threatening again with the ball inside the 5-yard line. Came in, ranked 14th in the nation with 503 yards per game, 365 today.
And this has been a highly ranked Houston defense, as we pointed out, Dan.
Indeed, 14 against 14. Brady Lichtenberg in at quarterback. He has, ball's on the ground, loses it for a moment. Lichtenberg gets it back, and that's going to make things a bit more difficult here on 3rd and goal.
Remember, they had the sack earlier in the game in the red zone, and Sorsby came back and threw a strike to Henderson for a touchdown. We'll see if they drop Lichtenberg back again here.
Ball on the 7-yard line, a little more room to throw if they choose to do so. Lichtenberg has thrown 4 passes this year, all of them coming in this game. He did throw 34 last year. Also ran for a touchdown last year. And pressure coming on Lichtenberg, nowhere to go. Swarmed by that Houston defense. Going to be bringing up 3rd down, or 4th down rather. Michael Batten getting the penetration.
Batten was first, and then Holmes cleaned him up. And they were right on Lichtenberg. Not a bad drive for your backup quarterback. I'm sure they would have liked to have finished it a little bit differently.
So on comes Nathan Hawks. Nailed a 46-yarder earlier in this game. This one will be from 29. He, of course, making his first start for Cincinnati last week. Became the first kicker in Cincinnati history with 2 50-yard field goals in the game. And we have a delay of game by Cincinnati.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
They're making an effort to run some clock there, so that could have been a big part of it. Or Hawks just doesn't like kicks under 30 yards.
Too easy.
He's a big leg guy.
Too easy. So this will be a wee bit longer from 34 yards out.
He's got those dark eyes staring at the goalposts.
He's ready. And from 34 yards out,
I love this guy.
Hawks remains pure. 4 for 4 on the season.
Take
34 zip.
If it takes you places that make you say,
Whoa!
And their hair looks like this, or someone says,
The doors come off.
Then you just know what it was, what it is, and what it always will be. Because when you're an original, there's only one.
Film me for a live studio pizza.
All right, here you go.
Brothers, I got the 3-meat treat from Little Caesars. Bacon, pepperoni, Italian sausage. Let's save Pop Kittle a slice.
Order the 3-meat treat for $8.99 and get your game day delivered with Little Caesars.
Pizza. Homes.com is a new, elevated home shopping experience. Beautiful design, tremendously rich content, and my favorite touch, it's the only site that always connects you to the listing agent. Feels like a work of art.
Lovely. What about the app?
Uh-oh! Look what I did. It's ringing. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They can't hear you.
Hello?
Because you glued a frame over the microphone.
I think I've glued the frame over the microphone.
Ding dong!
Homes.com. We've done your homework.
Prime Big Deal Days is coming October 8th and 9th with exclusive savings just for Prime members. You'll feel like a big deal. Shop deals on electronics, fashion, and more this Prime Big Deal Days, October 8th and 9th.
This is an election year unlike any other.
America is ready.
And so are we.
Democracy 24. Your freedom. Your vote.
The reviews are in. First things first is a mix of analysis, tremendous chemistry, and total craziness. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wilds serve up a fresh daily dose of unscripted and unfiltered sports talk weekdays at 3 on FS1. Crowd starting to clear out a little bit with Cincinnati up 34-0. That last drive.
It's no longer necessary to protect the nip.
It is protected. 9:51, almost 10 minutes came off the clock on that last Cincinnati drive. Joseph Manjack IV back deep to receive this Hawks kick. And that's going to be Massey. As Massey taken down inside the 20-yard line. And Cincinnati coming out on defense after this.
Honey?
But the gains are pumping.
Yeah, the market's closed.
Futures don't sleep in the after hours, bro.
Dad, is Mommy a finance bro?
She switched careers to make money for your weddings.
Ooh, penny stocks are blowing up. Sweetie, grab your piggy bank. We're going all in. Let me ask you, for your wedding, do you want a gazebo in a river?
What's a gazebo?
Something that your mother always wanted and never got.
Or you could give these different investment options a shot.
The right money moves aren't as aggressive as you think.
I'm keeping the vest.
Future-proof your home and garden with AARP today. Harvest the rewards for years to come. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
You ever notice the more you try not eating the other half of your foot long, the more you end up eating the other half of your foot long? No one can resist juicy chicken, smoky bacon, and creamy ranch. Get the elite chicken and bacon ranch, now at Subway.
October baseball is different. It's putting your money to work, giving your city what they've earned. The wild card playing for keeps. Yeah, October's different. The NL postseason begins on Fox and FS1.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56. I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. No interest, credit checks, or late fees. Download the Dave app now or go to Dave.com today.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch live news, shows, and sports without cable. Watch multiple games at once with Multiview. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Still 34-0 here in Cincinnati. Just over 3.5 minutes to go as we take a look around the Big 12. Some new faces, some familiar faces. Big week in the conference. Kansas on top of West Virginia by 4 in the fourth quarter. Several very important games on the schedule coming up. Parker Jenkins in at running back for Houston, and then an off-the-mark pass by Zion Chris, who's been in at quarterback the last couple of drives to relieve an ineffective Donovan Smith.
Only 92 yards passing for Houston this afternoon. And last year in the victory for Cincinnati, which was so big, only 102 for Donovan Smith, who started that game. Between Smith and Chris, just not enough today. That was a missed throw to Muse, who had a bit of a lane there for a screen.
Gonna throw again on 2nd and 10. And this time it's behind the intended receiver, Stephon Johnson. The last Cincinnati shutout came back in November of 2018 against Navy. As we see Donovan Smith on the sideline. Really the kryptonite for him has been Cincinnati. You mentioned that game last year. He had 3 interceptions in that game, just over 100 yards passing. And Smith here today with an interception and just 74 passing yards, really not able to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball. And this time they're going to have Chris just tuck it and run, but he's not going anywhere. Submarined by that Cincinnati defense.
Yeah, kind of a slow developing quarterback run, and the backside pressure got to him before the play could develop.
Johnson coming in to make the stop. They're making a lot of subs on the defensive side of the ball. The Cincinnati band having some fun.
Why not? Look at those khakis.
Get a couple pair of those.
Looks like you have to buy your own pair of khakis to be in the band, because I saw a lot of different pairs there.
Jim Harbaugh, the only person with more pairs of khakis than the Cincinnati band, apparently. No team, no Power 4 team has been shut out this year. Houston could be the very first. They do have a home game coming up next against 20th ranked Iowa State. And then it's on the road at TCU, Kansas, and then a couple of ranked teams in Utah and Kansas State after that.
You face Iowa State, you got Rocco back at quarterback, and I'm not sure if Donovan Smith comes back as the starter. We'll see what happens during the week. They wanted to get Chris some experience in this game, but with sharp quarterbacks like that and established programs, Dykes, Leipold, Whittingham, that's going to be a rough go for Houston as they continue to try to find their offensive identity.
Looked like they really picked things up in that win over Rice. They came in averaging just 48 yards per game and then racked up 237 on the ground. And probably not going to get another opportunity here if Cincinnati's picks up a couple of more first downs. But Willie Fritz, as you mentioned, just success at every single stop. The 64-year-old in his first year at Houston, his 32nd year as a head coach. There is no doubt that he's going to be able to build a strong program here after a tremendous 8-year run at Tulane, where he was a 2-time coach of the year, leading one of the biggest turnarounds in college football history. We're at the 2-minute mark. Be back here in Cincinnati in just a moment.
Coach Prime and Shador Sanders lead Colorado.
Holy mackerel!
Against Baylor. Woo! Tonight at 8 Eastern on Fox.
You want to be a lifeguard? Go, go, go! This is the real deal.
Rescue High Surf. The 2-night premiere begins Sunday on Fox.
So here's the thing about Bernie Moreno. Ohio already voted to protect abortion rights, and this guy would completely ignore us.
Bernie Moreno supports a national ban on abortion and said he's 100% against abortion with no exceptions.
I never imagined I would live in a world where my daughter has fewer rights than I do. And as a mom, I won't let anyone stand in her way. And I won't let Bernie Moreno go to the Senate.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Inez, let me ask you, you're using Head & Shoulders, right?
Only when I see flakes. Then I switch back to my regular shampoo.
You should use it every wash. Otherwise, the flakes will come back.
He's right, you know.
Is that Tiny Troy?
The ingredients in Head & Shoulders keep the microbes that cause flakes that big.
Microbes? Really?
They're always on your scalp. But good news, there's no itchiness, dryness, or flakes down here.
I love Tiny Troy and his tiny, gorgeous hair.
Make every wash count.
And for stubborn dandruff, try Head & Shoulders Clinical Strength.
You know why I love Halloween?
Why?
People give me Kit Kats for free.
Son, you're 8. All your Kit Kats are free.
Happy Halloween! Have a break, have a Kit Kat.
With multi-view on NFL Sunday Ticket, you can watch up to 4 live games at once, which means keeping up with your fantasy team is no longer a fantasy. NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Watch every game, every Sunday.
Tom Brady, the broadcaster? Why do it? Tommy, why?
Yeah, Tommy. Why don't you lay on a beach getting fat on pina coladas? They don't understand that our football journey isn't even close to done. Because you're Tom freaking Brady.
One day, you'll be the greatest there ever was.
Back to work.
Spoken Player of the Game sponsored by Old Trapper. What's your beef? I have no beef with Brendan Sorsby. He was absolutely spectacular today. Top 25 in the nation in passing yards and total offense coming in. That's probably going to drop down just a bit after today because he didn't need to throw the ball a whole lot. Didn't play the whole game, but when he was in there, he was nearly perfect. 12 of 15, 188 yards, and a couple of absolute dimes for touchdown passes to Xavier Henderson.
Yeah, everything you want out of your quarterback is what Sorsby displayed. He was poised. He worked within the context of the offense. He didn't try to do too much, but he was spectacular in what they asked him to do. And it looks like Coach Satterfield really found himself a quarterback in the transfer portal that's going to make Cincinnati much more competitive than they were last year in the Big 12. And for Houston, it feels like the search continues.
Sorsby certainly has the size and the arm talent, the poise in the pocket, a little bit of everything. He's on the sideline right now looking on as Brady Lichtenberg hands it off to Victor Dawson. Strong coming in on the stop for Houston, and fourth down coming up. What a performance from Cincinnati here at home, and after just one Big 12 win last year, they matched that number already in their conference opener here at Nippert.
Yeah, they couldn't have really asked for much more. And without that disappointing comeback that Pittsburgh was able to manufacture, there'd be a lot more talk about Cincinnati football in the area and in the conference.
Well, I think if they were able to hold on to that one, certainly to improve to 4-0, but nonetheless.
Defense number 93 with contact, 5-yard penalty. The yardage results in a first down.
At 3-1, they're going to be sitting in pretty good shape as they enter the thick of the Big 12 schedule, especially with a quarterback like Sorsby. Anytime you can find a guy like Sorsby to come in the portal, and oh, by the way, still a pretty young guy, still learning the offense and still going to improve.
Check out this victory formation, Dan. You don't often see it in the shotgun, but he's going to get the shotgun snap from the backup center here, and then he's going to run forward and kneel, which is pretty interesting.
Option, please reset the game clock to 30 seconds. The clock will start on my signal.
So clock winding down, and for the first time in a Power 4 conference this year, we're going to have a shutout. Houston on the wrong end of this one, but the Bearcats get their first shutout since 2018 when they won 42-0 against Navy. What a